Da, 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 da.
Welcome to the Coalition of Scrubs, and yes, that was all of our collective natural voices singing.
Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the Coalition of Scrubs. I am your host for today from Detective YT. And in today's episode, I want to bring a discussion. I don't know if you log into Edu Pro and all of these illegal place sites, or whatever you want to call them, to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Or if you are playing in real life. And when you just see a certain card that I'm going to show you right now, that is called Numeron Network, you immediately scoop because you don't have an answer to it. Well, I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't scoop to just seeing this card. There are 5 reasons that I can think of why you shouldn't scoop to this card or to this full engine. The first one, and the most important one, is that you can stop it, okay? There are a lot of cards that stop the Numeron engine, and we have seen a lot of options right now. We have obviously Goes Over a Snow Rabbit, very powerful card that can destroy the field spell when it is activated. Or even better, you can destroy the S0, chain it to it, destroy the S0, just don't play a turn. I mean, it's fine. You can survive a turn without that, most of the decks can do that. Another card that you can use is Forbidden Chalice, okay? Target one monster in the field, negate its effects. Easy as that. You can chain that to your Utopic's Exile and stop the lock. Easy as that. If you have money and if you want to do a little bit more style to that, you can play Forbidden Droplet, of course, and make it spell speed 4. Or you can play Impermanence, of course. You can play this thing that just doesn't let your opponent play. Easy as that. You see what I'm saying here? You have a lot of options to counter this thing, and they don't have to be expensive options. I mean, there's a C card. Playing C is a good one. Special summon this to the opponent's side of the field, cannot exist summon. Contact C is another one. You can use these two, and your opponent cannot summon anything, the S0. That's the end piece of the board. Okay, there are a lot of things that you can use to counter this thing. So you don't need to scoop to this, and you don't need to pay a lot of money in these things. You just have to know what to counter and how to activate. The second thing I want to bring up to discussion, and the third one on the same chain, is that it runs out of fuel pretty quickly. I'm going to show you what I mean by that, okay? Here we have the full Numeron Eldix. As you can see, we have the full deck, everything that shows up. And what is the meaning? What can you see in this image? If anyone can tell me. I don't know. Oh, that's right. There are just 6 cards that make the Numeron engine possible. The 3 Numeron walls and the 3 Numeron networks. Okay? If you draw Numeron Calling, you are dead. You cannot play if you draw Numeron Calling. And when I say it runs out of steam pretty quickly, I mean that it runs out of steam pretty quickly. Okay? Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. These 6 cards are the thing that you are scooping to. Okay? And that's wrong. That's the wrong mentality. You know what? Because point number 3, the engine is not the problem. When you see this deck, you see this is a good deck if you want to think about it that way. But this is not the problem. The problem of the deck is not that I'm playing S0, is that I have the full control with Conquistadors and Vaqueros and all the Eldix stuff. Okay, so this engine is something good because it can leave an S0 on the field, but it's not broken, okay? It doesn't do anything on its own, you need more cards on it. And that's combined with number 2, runs out of fuel, because once you have something on the field, you cannot activate Numeron Wall. If you control a monster, you cannot activate Numeron Network. If you just leave the monster and the field and you battle with this against, they cannot activate Numeron Network again, leave your another S0. So you are not really scooping to Numeron Network, you are scooping to Eldritch. And this is a pretty bad list I'm going to show you. Eldritch control, as I have built it right here, really terrible, because it also runs out of steam. And this is not your Synchro Eldritch, which is totally worth it, totally better, because it has a lot of another stuff to combine. This is just unplayable, okay? Because you have a lot of monsters, you have your Conquistadors and Huaqueros, and what you do with those? What do you do with those? I don't know. Maybe the extravagance is the problem. Yes, I think the extravagance may be a problem, but the real problem here is not that I'm playing this deck bad, that you are scooping to just watching a Numeron Network. And I'm telling you this because all of this week I've been trying to record a video, and all of the times that I activate Numeron Network from the hand or by the Numeron Walls effect, I have people scooping just to watching this, and I cannot do that. That is the number 4 point. It can be any other deck. Okay, as much as you want to see Numeron Eldritch to work, it may be not Numeron Eldritch. Okay, in fact, it may be Numeron World. This is a deck that I'm going to release soon, and this deck focuses on leaving Arcana Force 21 the world, and not even scooping your opponents, not letting your opponent play on their turn, not letting them have a turn. Okay, this is the deck basically. It is bricky as hell. You can draw 2 Arcana Force and they don't do anything in their hand. Nibiru's are dead most of the times. You have a lot of hand traps. You need those to summon and tribute with Arcana Force 21, of course. But you also have Cup of Face, because you cannot run Extravagance in this, because Extravagance doesn't let you draw, and you need to draw from Memories of Hope. Okay? And I play in second coin toss because I cannot play the Arcana Force field spell. This is what I'm saying. The engine allows it to build these decks, build this whatever you want to call this, and make a good list, a good joke. If it works, it's a cannon, it's a glass cannon, as you may say. But if you scoop just to a Numeron Network, you don't see that you can win this game, because what I can leave here if I break S0, easy as that, and 2 hand traps. S0 and 2 hand traps. If you have the right cards, you can play through this. Easy as that. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to scoop to Numeron Network, because it can be anything, and Numeron Network enables a lot of fun stuff to play. Okay? And that leads me to the final point. There are other engines to counter. If you watch my channel, which you probably should, and subscribe and do all that stuff, you may know that I play Burning Abyss most of the times. And I have this list, my Burning Abyss Alki-Fibrax combo, that ends on BFD. Now, this is a good engine, as you may say, the Synchro engine. And this is all done by Alki-Fibrax. But this is not the best Alki-Fibrax can do. As you know, you can play the engine that lets Savage and Herald of the Arclight and whatever you want to call it. That's great. These engines are the real problem here. The Emancipator and Eldritch Synchro have the same common sources of trouble. That if you close, if you focus on that choke point, you can win those games, because they have choke points really clear that they may lose on that if you just hit it with the right cards. And Numeron Eldritch or Numeron World, or the Numeron engine by itself, has a lot of those focusing points, has a lot of those choke points. You know, searching Numeron Network, activate the Numeron Network, activate it again, you can over there. Summoning 4, you can see those, you can do whatever you want. If they summon 4, they are in Nibiru range, of course, because they have to summon the S0 if they want to conserve and they want to preserve those monsters. And if they only summon 3 to prevent the Nibiru, then that's fine, because then you have to activate the S0 on your turn, and you have other options there to counter the S0. You see what I'm saying? You have a lot of choke points in Numerons. You don't have those choke points in other decks, like for example this one. Well, this one is a little bit more, but the Eldritch and the Emancipator don't have a lot of choke points. The choke points that I can think of are the next ones. Give me just 1 second. I'm just going to change screens. The first one is Link Cross. Link Cross is the first choke point that I want to talk. The second one is Arclight, of course, the Synchro, because Arclight is the one that does all the work in these combos, because that doesn't let you discard. As you can see right here, it vanishes any monster sent from the hand or main deck to a graveyard. That's the second choke point. And the third choke point, Union Carrier. If you are playing Link Cross combo, you are playing Union Carrier because you want to protect your board from DRNM, Dark Ruler no more. As you can see, Numeron has 5-6 choke points and a lot of different answers. But these decks, the decks that play the Link Cross combos, don't have that facility. They can be stopped. They cannot be stopped as easy because they have solid choke points that you should focus on playing on those things and not scooping on a deck that you can counter anytime you want. That's what I'm saying. Numeron is not a terror deck. It's not something that you cannot play against. It's just an engine that gives another stop, a negation or a prevention or whatever you want to call it, because that stuff cannot do it by its own. And once you run out of steam on those decks, there's nothing else you can do. There's nothing else you can do. You have to scoop immediately because you cannot win those games. And I've tried a lot of these games with the Numeron engine, with both decks, Eldritch and S0, and I have lost a lot of games because Eldritch and S0 and Numeron both run out of gas, and they have their clear choke points. It can be stopped. Okay, so you should focus on another decks that you may want to counter, and you don't know how to counter them, like these ones, like the Link Cross Union Carrier stuff. Instead of just focusing on what Numeron Network is, because Numeron Network is a new card. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is please don't scoop to me when I'm recording a video. That's all I want. Okay. That's going to be it for this video. A little bit different. I want to bring more discussions or anything else. I don't want to talk about main troubles with the community because I think those are not that they're not worth it. They are totally worth it. But I don't feel comfortable with talking about that stuff. I mean, the bot stuff and the misogynisms that is been appearing lately on the community is something really terrible. But I think the poster is clear, and I think I shouldn't talk about that. But if it happens to appear, I will talk about that. And if it happens to appear anything else on card games and anything else, any new cards, any problematic cards, etc., I will talk on that too as well. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please follow all of our guys on the Coalition of Scrubs. You have the links in the description. You should also probably follow me. I don't know if you want to do that, of course. And check out every Coalition member because they provide fun, entertaining content. I think a little bit more better than me, of course. And we have streams every 2 weeks, normally, usually, most of the time. I mean, you should check out those two as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we see you on the next video. See ya.